Hello, ladies. You know something, ladies? The Big Valboski is a lot like a Rubik's Cube. You know, the longer you play with it, the harder it gets.
Oh, awesomeness. All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestler broadcast, Monte The Pharaoh, only seen here out of Indie Music TV. At the table here, we've got Marty Jannetty, who's graced us with his hood, his essence.
This is
and on the couch, we have returning guest. We've got Val Venis, who was in our original studio. And then... Holy cow.
And waving,
Hi, everybody.
Mr. Eugene.
Mr. Eugene.
I've been here
WWE
before.
Law?
You know, Eugene, I read somewhere where you said you were no longer going to tour as Eugene. Did that change?
What?
No. I said Eugene has started his retirement tour. Handsome Jimmy Valiant was on retirement tour for 15 years. Kiss has been on retirement tour for 26
Very
years.
true.
Whenever I have my last match, then the tour's over. That's what somebody asked me. When's it going to end? When I have the last match, and I don't know when that is. So everybody needs to book Eugene now because the tour could come to an end at any time.
Hey, Ric Flair's been doing it for 40 years.
Right?
You don't remember the Rubik's
I don't
Cube
remember.
joke?
No.
The Rubik's Cube joke was, hello, ladies. You know something, ladies? The Big Valboski is a lot like a Rubik's Cube. You know, the longer you play with it, the harder it gets.
Oh, awesomeness. Did Vince Russo ruin wrestling?
Oh,
So the one thing, when he stayed behind the camera, like when he was in WWE,
Okay.
he was behind the camera. They had no intent.
you mean
to
with
put him in front of
Vince
the camera.
keeping him in check is what you mean, right?
He would push the
Right?
envelope, number one, and number two, everybody on the show had a story. There was a point in time when Crash
enough.
Holly was a bigger star
Crash
than,
Holly was-
than,
yeah.
than Goldberg, for
Yeah,
example.
Crash
He
Holly
in
was
the
rocking.
storyline.
Yeah.
And so I think he was extremely effective that way.
Okay.
Now, when he went over to WCW, it seemed like he slowly got in front of the camera, and then it
Fell
just,
in love with himself, perhaps, a little bit?
Maybe.
Or he
it
put
just-
the belt
it
on
just could
himself.
have been WCW.
It could have been.
Because
It could have been. Who knows?
there was nobody got in the ship that knew what they were
The
doing.
ship already sinking, nothing he could do to save it?
Well, the ship wasn't sinking. They were on TV. When nobody
Okay.
went on TV, then they were done.
Did Vince Russo kill WCW?
I don't
And
know.
if not, what killed WCW?
The sale of Turner. That's
Eric
what
Bischoff
killed
I
WCW.
don't know. I thought it was. But
Because otherwise, it still could have been on.
I think with Vince Russo, I think once he started to get more in front of the camera, his writing, his plethora of writing stories to the entire card shrunk up to his story.
He became distracted?
generally what
Yes,
happens.
I think it
He
was
lost
distracting from
lost
what he
his
was
vision
really
on the
good at.
mission, right?
Okay.
He
Okay.
you know, he was but he tells a story that when he meets you, he comes down and he can't I want you to tell the story, but he can't figure out anything to do with you. Can you tell the story how the Val Venis character was created?
So from what I understand, this is what Vince Russo was telling me was, I was still wrestling in Mexico at the time, and they flew me up to the television studios, and I was talking with Vince, and then Vince was driving me from the television studios back over to Titan Towers.
Vince drove the car?
Driving
Vince
you.
Russo, yeah.
Oh.
So
I thought McMahon for
That's
a
what I
second.
thought too.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, we're good. We're
Vince
good.
drove you around?
Russo. So we were going over
like,
to
what?
the towers to meet Vince McMahon, right?
Okay. Okay.
And so we drove over there, and I was just talking politics with him the whole time, the whole ride over there. So we get over to the towers, and, we were doing whatever we were doing over there, a bunch of different stuff to do. And then after I had left back to Mexico, I guess Vince Russo kept on thinking, when I was talking about politics in the car ride over to the studios, he kept thinking in the back of his mind, I don't know anything about politics, but this guy looks like a porn star.
That's what he took out of your political
And
discussion.
so at some point he went,
Okay.
he went up to McMahon and I guess basically put it to Vince McMahon, and they both said, "Hey, let's call him and see if he likes this." And they
The way
ended up
Dr.
calling
Tom
him
said it
Mexico.
was, there's something sleazy about this guy. A porn star.
Nice.
Porn
nice.
star.
Did you naturally gravitate towards this sleazy character? Or-
He slid right into it.
there you go. Slid right in.
Well, you know,
Oh,
when I was-
holy. Oy.
they called me about 7 a.m. and so it was a secretary at the time had called me and I had answered, and they said, "Hey, I'm going to put you through to Vince McMahon's office. He's in there with Vince Russo. They want to talk to you." I said, "Okay." So they patched me through, and they said, "Hey, we have this character. We want to know if you feel comfortable playing this character. If you don't feel comfortable playing this character, let us know, because if you don't feel comfortable with it, it's not going to work." And I was like, "Okay, what is it?" And he goes, "Okay, so the character's name's Val Venis, and he spelled the last name Venis. And when he spelled it like that, I was kind of like, okay. And then he goes, "Now, Val Venis was a former film star turned pro wrestler." And the first thing that pops
But
into
of
my
course.
head is, okay, Hogan and Jesse Ventura, they've already done this. Like this, how is this going to be any different? How's it going to be fresh? How's it going to be new? And so I'm thinking in my head, like, no, this has been done before. And then Vince McMahon stops and he goes, "Actually, Val Venis was a former adult film star turned pro wrestler." And I went,
Boing.
"Oh yeah, just twist my arm a little more. This ain't ever been done before." And so he told me, he goes, "Well, hold on. Think about it for 24 hours. Just make sure you'll feel comfortable with it." And I said, "I'm comfortable with it, bro." It's never been done before, you know. And
Yeah.
so anyways, he made me wait another 24 hours. I called back the next morning and said, "Let's do it."
Did you know who Jenna Jameson was when you did that shoot with her? Because and did you get any chance to hook up with her? Because man, oh man. What do you mean no?
No.
Didn't even try?
No, I didn't even try.
Oh
No,
my
I didn't
God!
even try.
Were you? Did you
don't
know who
have
she
time.
was?
You don't have time when you're in and out and makeup
Yeah.
and going lines and just. It's,
Had you seen her work before she came
No,
in?
I didn't even know who she was
Oh my
until
God!
I got
I
up
would have
there.
been so distracted,
is it
Marty.
true that
I would have been ruined.
when you were doing these
Yeah.
great vignettes with her,
They were great.
that McMahon said, "I don't find her attractive. Forget it." I
Did
don't
he
want
really
these
say
vignettes."
that
did he
about
edit
her?
her out?
Yes, so what
Did
happened
he
was...
what?
Edit her
happened
out?
was, at that point in time, I guess she was going through from what I understand, she was going through a pretty solid rough patch in her life, and she'd gotten out of shape.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so when she stood up behind the bush, she was
Yeah.
kind of little,
Was she really not super hot when you did those promos?
Oh no,
with her?
she was still hot, but not as
She was
hot as
not
Vince,
as tight.
I guess would remember
Not as
her or
tight, quote
expect her
unquote.
to be.
Okay.
She had
Okay.
a little bit of imperfections.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And
Gotcha.
yeah, so I guess they just said no, that ain't gonna work. And
Wow.
So, yeah, but
So that's why you guys hid behind the vines.
No, they both
Kinda.
came up, but they never played her.
yeah,
They just played him coming up.
And then we did
Yeah.
a whole hot tub scene too, and the hot tub scene, I guess, because was her getting in and out of the suds.
Bruce Pritchard was
I
so
wish I
excited
didn't
because they
miss
filmed
it.
stuff in his
Yeah, it
house,
was.
in
I was
his
looking at it.
bed that he sleeps in with his wife. He said his wife comes home and she's like, "Is that a porn?" "Yes, it is." "Isn't it so cool, honey?" "Okay."
Did you have any words with her? Was she cool?
No, yeah, she was cool.
So we got Marty here, right? So there's that you got all these different eras of wrestling,
This
right?
is true.
And then you
Sitting
guys
right
you
here.
guys kind of move into that future era. When you guys see these, I don't want to say older wrestling stars. Don't take it the wrong
The
way.
previous generation.
Veteran.
But like,
Previous generation.
how do you guys mark out for like a Marty Jannetty or someone of
wouldn't.
that age?
That's all I've done all day is ask for pictures.
Really?
Oh,
Everybody-
yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
What
yeah,
are your memories of Marty growing up? I mean, you must have seen Marty plenty
How
of
did
times
you do?
before
How
he got
did
in
you
the ring.
do the
Absolutely.
suplex cross body? How did you do the goddamn suplex cross? That looked so
How did you do
dangerous.
that?
And I'm going, oh my god, that move was awesome.
You know, that was one of Sean's few inventions that he came up with.
But
Most
you
of the
guys
good
didn't-
stuff
you-
he takes credit for.
You guys didn't use it much. I saw it a couple times and it was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, we did it in AWA a
Did-
lot.
did it hurt
That was
people?
that like our finish then, but once we got it over the WWF and all the giants, we got to come up with more. You know, because everybody was 6'6" and muscled up.
Marty, when you see AEW today, Do you feel like you helped pave the way for some of these guys that do
I
more?
mean, a couple steps of their path, but it was a long ass
Couple?
path. I mean,
That's-
brothers did. I mean, we all contribute to guys that are coming next. We all beating down the path. I went down a couple bad paths that I hope they don't follow, but we all contribute. I mean, we've all been seen by the younger guys, and
Did you borrow that big trailer in Ireland and drive around the parking lot?
What?
It wasn't in Ireland. It was England.
Yeah.
It was.
The tour bus.
The UK.
Everybody's in eating, and he just decides to start driving the tour bus.
No, it wasn't quite like that. Now, what happened? The guy was the driver. I mean, the stuff.
You're a menace, Marty. You really are.
Well, no, what
I
happened?
can't take him anywhere. Ugh.
The guy, the driver was being I'm sorry to say
Okay,
that.
fair enough.
Fair enough. It was the brakes, like the air brakes were locking everything when he barely hit them. And we're on a 20-day tour over there in Europe, and we're tired. And when you're tired, and guys hitting the brakes and your head's jacked. And finally, a couple of the guys were like, "Hey, man, easy on the brakes." And at first, he was like just not really trying to do
No
it.
speaking no English.
And then Roddy Piper finally said, "Hey, man, Dad," because Roddy was
Yeah.
He spoke up, and then the guy started drinking.
Oh,
Yeah,
not a good idea.
So we
Not a good idea.
had to, it was a pee stop. It was a long way yet to the hotel, straight on that road. But we had, the guys were gotta go. So Tanaka was sitting next to me. I said, "Watch this." He goes, "No, don't do it. Don't." He thought I was gonna jump on the driver. I'm like, "No, just watch this." And we all went out. About 5, 6 of us were pissed. The driver came out last, and I'm telling everybody, "Hurry up, get back in, hurry up." Well, hurry up, I ain't through pissing. Just get in, piss in the truck, piss in the. And the guys they're over there think he's all cocky. He's f***ing with the rustlers. And I drove a tractor trailer truck. I know how to drive, the big vehicles. Got behind the wheel and took off and drove it and left him out on the side of the road.
What happened to him?
I don't know.
Who knows? He's still walking. Oh, well.
Luckily, the hotel was just up another 20 miles, but right there, right off the exit. So I knew where we were going.
He dropped the whole crew off without the driver.
Did they call the cops on you?
Yeah, what the f***?
No, I forgot who the agent was that came down. You can't do that. I
You
said,
can't drive
it
the
wasn't
bus.
me.
I was in France on a bus one time, and Balls Mahoney wanted to watch a DVD.
Balls,
And he had the DVD, and he's looking in the ground, anything that could come up. There was no DVD player. There was a TV. There's got to be a DVD player. So he nowhere to be found. Goes up to the driver who doesn't speak English and is swerving in traffic, trying to scream at this guy to sit down. No, and Balls is just sweating. The jean jacket, the leather jacket,
Balls,
sweating.
balls.
It's got to be on here somewhere. Finally, they go, Balls. There's no fucking DVD player on here, and if there was, I don't want to die over Mr. Holland's Opus.
That's some good stuff, man. Nice. I love Balls. What a legend.
Yeah, he was a good brother.
What a legend.
So we were talking about like generations crossing gaps. So Val, we've had so many great stars in here, like you guys.
Oh,
and,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's our honor, right? We're just fans. We're not these
Absolutely.
wrestling experts. We know about nothing.
Yeah,
but
fuck that. Yep.
we had Missy Hyatt in here. And little did I know is
love
that
Missy, be
you and Missy ended up having some sort of relationship. At least that's
Wait
what
a minute!
she said in studio.
What?
Can you clear the air there?
We had a
Val!
relationship.
She in studio said that you and her
Val.
had a relationship. And to quote the Pharaoh said,
I love Missy.
when
Val.
maybe something was that the final episode was about to happen, he asked if you came out and said, "Hello, Missy." But but the point is, clear the air. Did you have a relationship with Missy Hyatt?
Say
I was
that.
never in a relationship with Missy Hyatt.
Not at all.
Now, we might have had a little
Zero
fling
physicality.
here and
Okay,
there,
so
A little what? Wait.
But as far as a relationship, she wanted to. Now, this was just like a one-time thing where she was really trying to push hard to get me to go to Vince to see if she could manage me. This is when I first started.
I would have liked that. By the way,
Yeah.
what did you think about that?
So I didn't.
You're the new
You
guy.
didn't like
Wait a minute.
No.
Wait, dude.
You didn't like that idea?
Jimmy,
You're the new
let
guy.
him
You're gonna ask somebody else.
let him tell the story.
Okay,
So wait.
okay,
So Missy
okay.
is trying to push you, and you're like, well, let me think about
keeps
it.
bringing it up, and you know what I mean? Like, keeps bringing it up. I'm just like,
What?
I'm the big Val Boski. Get that through your head.
But there is a point where you say, well, let's try you out maybe to see if
Not
you could be
even?
my manager?
Not even? You didn't even think about it at
doesn't
all?
Talk.
Huh?
A good boy doesn't talk.
Okay, well, I'm just saying.
Wow.
Well, there's your answer, Jimmy.
Oh, man. Dude, that would have been great, by the way.
It would have been great.
What
I mean,
did,
it was
did,
great.
did you like the...
Jimmy, it's going right over.
It is going over my
right
head.
over his
I've
head.
got him on TV. He's in the bedroom.
Is it
I
fair?
give up.
Is it fair to say that Missy failed her interview?
What? No way.
We're gonna hold on to her application for later.
Wait a minute. Your imagination didn't even help you out during this? The application failed?
No, I'm not going to give her.
It's
a
still being
fail.
processed.
Good.
It's and I would say it even went beyond processing. But
What's the grade? Is it, you know, you got
if I had to be
F, D, C, B, or A, A plus? What is
if I
it?
had to be super accurate,
Okay.
and
Mr. Venis?
I'm just trying to be as nice
With
as
a
I can.
Nicely accurate.
Okay. Okay. What are we giving her?
B minus.
What's the B minus? Where does the minus come in? What's with the
Misguided.
minus?
There is no grade. It's
No,
misguided.
he gave her a grade. Explain the minus, though. Because the B
minus
is good.
The minus was
Getting to the bottom of this.
trying to be nice.
Don't try to be nice. Tell the truth. You gave a minus. Why? What's with the minus?
I was hoping Fabulous Moolah was going to try to f Eugene.
Dude, that's
I
a
really
D
was.
minus. Fucking fabulous moolah. What's going
She
on
almost
here?
married Hank Williams Sr. Bite your tongue.
Ooh.
By the way, the dirt
Damn.
sheet, the dirt sheet just picked that up. Eugene wanted the moolah. That will be.
Way to go,
that will be,
Eugene!
Well, the truth is, Moolah made a
ruined.
man out of Eugene,
Really?
and that's the truth.
Let's hear it.
I'm not one to speak of a gentleman that's passed away, but Eugene Palermo was a guest of WWE for a long time that the name was brought from. He passed away. A lot of people are calling me, did you pass away? No. Supposedly, the legend goes, the story that Fabulous Moolah felt sorry for Eugene and maybe just had some special time with him. I don't know. I wasn't there.
I understand.
I'm not one to gossip, so you didn't hear from
At
me.
least you didn't give birth to a hand. Good.
How big is that hand now? It's got to be an
big, huh?
arm.
So
The hand's all
basically,
grown up. It's a leg.
if there was a relationship that or something did happen, she would have gotten a B minus.
Yeah, she would have gotten a B minus.
Damn, your B minus is my A plus.
teeth?
I'm depressed.
So I'll ask you this, right?
Anyway.
Wrestling is this intertangled family, right? You're all very, very close. You fight, whatever. One thing I was interested to find out is that I did not know this is that your sister was married to Edge at one point.
Yep.
How does that
Whoa.
affect
In
your
real life?
In real
Wow.
life. So how does that
Okay.
affect your life with Edge after they, can people get divorced? This is life. Does that affect your relationship?
No, not at all. No, not at all. I mean, we were still friends. They're still friends to this day.
Okay.
And so,
That's cool.
I knew from day one. I just said, "You guys are getting married, really?" Because they were like two of the same people, and I just knew those heads were gonna butt. It was
Really?
just a matter of time. Yeah.
Okay.
They were two of the exact same people,
Okay.
and so I was surprised it lasted as long as they did. I think it was like 3 years or something like that.
Oh, that's not very long. All right.
I was like,
That's
hey,
5 years in Canadian, though.
Yeah.
Man, oh man. Holy cow. So Vincent Kennedy McMahon's had a good 2 years and a rough 2 years, Matt.
Killer
Which way you work
mustache,
it.
though. Killer
What were your
mustache.
guys' feelings when you heard about the accusations against Vincent Kennedy and McMahon?
Duh. I mean, come on. It's no surprise. I'm sure that anybody with that amount of power, that amount of money, does the exact same thing. And somebody was paid to be quiet, and somebody spoke. Why haven't we found out who that person is?
Vince McMahon, good person,
I
a bad
love that.
person.
I
Vince
love that.
McMahon, good person, a bad person. Who gives a
I don't know him that well, but he was always good to me, always nice to me.
fair enough?
Yeah,
Val?
same here. He was always good to me, always cool with me. I do think, obviously, you can clearly see it's moral failings on Vince's part.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he's human, right? Should
course.
he have left the company based on the fact that he had an affair? No, I don't think he should have ever left the company. It shouldn't even have been consideration. But when you take a look that it's a public company and there are people that are invested in that company, and his job is to continue to create value for the company and not do anything that's going to downgrade the value of that company. And just the appearance of sleeping with employees and, you know, paying them hush money, just that appearance alone does put downward pressure on the stock price. So I can see why the board may want to push Vince out at that moment, but Vince should have really put his foot down and said, I'm not leaving.
But he did something to make everybody forget about all that. He just screwed the
I
mustache.
told you that mustache.
Everybody's talking about the mustache now. Nobody's talking
It's a
about
visual
I've seen it.
distraction. He's a genius.
Nobody's talking about the
It's
26
a
million
genius.
he paid to women. He paid more money for than he did for WCW.
Guys, very, very important. I want each one of you to answer this. Marty, how did you feel when Vince McMahon sold the company 51% now to UFC? How do you feel about Vince McMahon?
I never know whether it's a work or not because
It's clearly not a work. This is business.
Yeah.
So were you shocked that Vince would give up?
If it was going to be the real deal, yeah, because I couldn't imagine him ever giving up the company. It was going to be in the family forever, and it was still climbing.
Were you hurt when you
It still is
heard?
climbing.
Were you hurt when you heard it? Were you shocked? What were you?
No, I got bigger fish to fry than that.
Okay, but after all,
in my
your
life
legacy
right
is
now.
tied into Vince
But it was a
McMahon.
shocker, yeah.
Okay, Eugene, how'd you feel when you heard that Vince had sold?
I didn't think anything of it. I didn't.
Yeah,
didn't
we got-
carry
we
the
got-
way
we got
I
different
figured it
fish.
would've
Another
happened.
day at the office for you guys?
But my thing is, I'm still under the impression that we need to be reevaluated to find out if we were employees or if we were in contractors.
Okay.
And if there should be any kind of the guys from the NFL got $5 billion for concussions.
Right.
We get nothing.
Okay.
You know, and selling to Endeavor, is that right?
Which is why
Not
I'm
okay, but
blackballed
okay.
from the place
Right.
now.
Right.
That might take one layer away from being close to WWE. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But when you knew everybody, and hell, you know, everybody's 10 years after their run starting to have head problems and can't process and body hurts, and should they pay for it? Should they be responsible? I don't know.
Val?
But
you know,
everybody else on the Peacock it's on the Peacock is in a union, aren't they?
you're real
Every
quick,
other show on the
just-
Peacock.
Just going on off that
Sure.
story, playing on your point there.
Sure.
You know, that was the whole reason I got in CTE, that lawsuit. I didn't really want to, like you were saying. I don't know, should they or should they not? I mean, it's all based on assumption of risk. I mean, do you?
But it doesn't matter if you're in it or not. If one wins, we all win.
Right. But you know, it was like, you know, I got sued by Chuck Austin, who got $500,000 from me for doing that rocker dropper, as they called it, move wrong. The only
I thought it was
person I've done
27.
it. Was that?
I thought it was 27 million.
27?
It was actually 30 in the court. They'd come back. They were suing for 10 million in court, and deliberations with 12 people took. You got to hang around the courtroom till 5 o'clock, you know, and then they'd say, "Come home, come back tomorrow." It was around. It was getting close. We figured you have to stay there, so we went down to get something to eat, and we went down there 15 minutes, maybe, give it about 15 minutes. And they came down, said they're back, they're ready, they got the judgment. And I'm thinking it's impossible. You got 12 people, and they had to go back and deliberate on the what was the percentage of negligence for that whole thing? WWE, or F at the time. How much negligence was Marty Jannetty? How much negligence was Chuck Austin?
Complicated.
And then, if you found negligence at all, how much do you want to award Chuck Austin for a lifetime, you know, the neck injury, which it was in that, because I had talked to his attorney. Well, we'll just get right to the jury thing. How much percentage is Holly Austin, his wife, how much you want to award her for a loss? There's a term, but I don't know the legal term. The loss of the use of a husband for a lifetime, and two kids for the father for a lifetime.
That's
okay. That's a
unfortunate.
lot of for 12 people.
That's unfortunate.
To figure out in 15 minutes?
15, unless they said zero.
But
Chuck
something
did.
like
The
the
real
wrestling-
answer was Chuck did it wrong.
There's an assumed risk.
Assumption of
And if
risk
you
is
can
a whole.
show a video after video of you giving that move to everybody else,
And they wouldn't do
everybody else
that.
be fine,
And you know why they wouldn't? They said
shit then.
it was in my opinion, that whole case was bought.
Anybody that's a half-assed decent worker can take the move.
There's nobody done it wrong but him. And he even apologized. He had word get back to me. He was sorry for messing the move up. Anderson, one of those guys that lives in Florida down there, trains a bunch of them guys. I can't think of it. He looks like one of the Andersons. He came to me. He said to tell you he's sorry he did the move wrong. Well, he's on a gurney going out to the helicopter so they can fly him over to Tampa General. You know, where they get right to his broken neck thing. But he
And now
said,
it's
"Tell
called
Marty
the
I'm
$27
sorry."
million move.
You know, Kurt Hennig was announcing one time when I did it to somebody else, and they, oh, great move. Kurt said, "That'll break your neck." Fucking Kurt.
Val, Val, what did you think when Vince sold the company?
It was a little bit of a shocker. I never expected to see that leave, the company.
Yeah, I was
leave the
just
family.
shocking. That's about it. Like,
Yeah, it was a little bit of a shocker. But then again, you look at who Vince McMahon is. He's a businessman, right? He built this up, and at some point in time, you can take it so far, and then it's time to hand it over to somebody that can continue to take that entity and make it even bigger.
Why does someone who performed in this wrestling,
Shut
or
it
even
off?
you hear baseball players and football players say the same thing?
Yeah.
When you get out of it, how do you just not watch it anymore? Is it because you didn't love it, or what makes you not want to even look at it anymore?
I
I grew up watching it as a kid and loving it as a kid, and then I started wrestling at 18 and then kind of made a career out of it. So it just doesn't have that same. I'll watch sometimes, especially if I know the person, or I'll watch old stuff. So, I do enjoy watching it, but.
And I'll do that. Tell me if y'all
and I
felt
can't
this.
watch 8 hours, 9 hours, however many hours of programming we got.
It is too much again. Now they got with
3 hours of Raw, 2 hours of
and Next
SmackDown,
and all
2
that
hours
shit.
of NXT. How many AEWs? That's like 9 hours.
You know, that's what happened in the mid '80s. There was so much wrestling a week. The house shows were like, what for? We can turn and watch 20 different companies, during the week. And it kind of fell out. But then those companies wasn't making any money, so they started dropping off, and we started coming back when you had Raw and Nitro, back to two, fighting each other, which was, of course, great. But going back to that question, tell me if you ever felt this way, though. I felt this, when you're getting out of it. I wasn't ready to get out. I was just out of it. That made a difference, too. If you're ready to get out, it's a lot easier to handle.
Yeah.
When you're not, I couldn't watch it because it was like watching you seeing everybody else do the love that you got for it.
You're watching an ex-girlfriend that you're still in love
with
with.
somebody else. You're
Yeah.
watching your girlfriend, your wife with somebody else.
Yeah.
They're doing it now, and
Makes
you're
you angry.
sitting watching it. That's the way it felt. It's like I can't watch. It just hurts.
Val, how did it feel for you?
For me, by the time I got into 2005, 2006, I started developing other goals in my head. I knew I was, I didn't want to wrestle forever just because it is hard on the body, you know what I mean? And I had elbow injuries, knee injuries. They were adding up over time. About 2005, 2006, traveling. I still love performing even to this day. It's the traveling I could do without, and that really wore on me for a while. So from 2005 all the way up to 2009, I felt like it was more of a job than it ever was before. Before, it was just a lot of fun, and I was having a hell of a time. You know what I mean? It was great. But I started to develop other goals, like I wanted to get into the cannabis industry when I finished up with wrestling.
That was a good transition too.
Yeah.